This is How to Live in New York City on a Budget. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the New York City studio. If you guys missed my last video, I got my first ever New York City studio in downtown Manhattan, and I could not be more excited. I'm still working on this backdrop. This is where I want to do a lot of my talking dialogue shots, but I think over time that this will keep getting better and better. So let's talk about living in New York City on a budget. Now, I've lived in New York my whole life, but only for the past 3 that I have been living on my own, paying rent without living with my parents. And when I did move here, I had only a couple $1,000s in the bank. I didn't have much planned. I didn't have steady income, so I was living by the lowest means necessary, which is why in this video, I want to share 5 tips that I learned that will help you guys live in New York City on a budget. And tip number 1 is actually going to be traveling. Even me as a travel vlogger, I've set up my base here in New York City still, since it's such a great hub to go to amazing cities around the US and the Northeast. But if you are from other countries or from other states and cities in the US and you're moving to New York, don't worry, you're still gonna be able to travel, and for cheap. Since there are companies like Greyhound Lines, which is actually sponsoring this video, and they make it so affordable and so easy to travel to just about any city in the US. I recently took a trip to Philadelphia with my friend Katya, and we had an amazing time, and we only paid $20 US round trip to get to Philadelphia. Hey guys, so today I am partnering up with Greyhound, and we are heading to Philadelphia, and I am also accompanied by Katya. Katya is so excited to go to Philadelphia. You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready for this.
I booked my trip with Greyhound's mobile app, and it was super easy to use, and is also where you can find the best deals. And we were all set for our trip.
School bus!
And one of the best parts about traveling with Greyhound is it's so affordable and also so comfortable. Like, how nice are these chairs? Katya, first, safety first. Click it or ticket. How are you liking the bus so far, Katya?
I love it so much. Here's my matcha.
And when they did the redesign of the new Greyhound buses, they made it so there's extra legroom, also outlets right in front of your seats, and there's also Wi-Fi so you can get work done or even watch Netflix.
Space. Better than in a plane in a business class. I never fly by this, but it's better. Philadelphia! I know only sushi roll Philadelphia.
Philadadelphia is such a different city from New York, and so cool that it only takes an hour and 45 minutes to get to by bus. From this half.
Give it to me, now!
The last time I was actually here in Philadelphia, I rode a bicycle with my friend Dylan from my apartment in Chinatown, New York, all the way here to Philadelphia. It took like 2 days and was so uncomfortable with that seat, so the Greyhound buses were much more comfortable. And faster. So click the link in the description to book your next trip with Greyhound. So if you are living in New York and on a budget, but you want to see some other cities, I highly recommend checking out Greyhound. I've used them for so many years to get to different cities. So next, let's talk about transportation in the city. Honestly, I don't think even if I become a multi-millionaire, I will use taxi and Uber as my main transportation around the city. Since otherwise just getting around Manhattan, whether it's from my office to home, it's just too expensive. There's always traffic, and there's just so many other better ways on how to get around the city. The most typical way to get around New York is definitely by the subway. I am not the biggest fan of the subway. I'm not a big fan of going underground. Also, it doesn't smell very nice, and there's a lot of interesting people on it. But if you're going to work or to go meet a friend that's maybe across town, it might be the easiest way to do so. Then the next best way to get around the city, I highly recommend getting a city bike membership. I could not be a bigger advocate for city bikes. If you live in Manhattan and even Queens or Brooklyn, I recommend just to get the year membership, since you get unlimited uses for about $160 for the year. And there are docks and places to dock them all over the city, and it's just a fun way to get around New York. I still do have my city bike membership, but how I get from my apartment to the office every day is by this beauty right here. This is a Super 73 e-bike. It goes 22 miles per hour. The charge lasts for about 20 miles, and it's just the most fun way to get around the city. I do plan on making a full video about why I love this thing and the pros and cons of it in the very near future, but just know that this has changed my life. All right, Ciampino, so how do you like getting around New York City on an electric skateboard?
Dude, I love this thing. This thing has completely replaced MTA for me, taxis, all that. It's just way more fun to be outside riding a board and enjoying the weather, dude. I love it.
Can we be
And the other great,
vlog?
yeah, say what's up.
What's your YouTube?
It's Brett Conti.
If you ride a board and don't take the train for 9 months, you'll start making profit.
Hey, good to know, Ciampino.
All right, something else you're probably gonna need to know about when moving to New York, or just about anywhere in the world. Food. So my first 3 apartments in New York were in Chinatown, and Chinatown is probably the cheapest district in the lower half of Manhattan. It's also probably my favorite. But Chinatown is home to some of the best grocery stores in all of Manhattan, and also the most affordable. So we just made it here to iFresh Market, which is on Mott Street in Chinatown, and we're about to do some cheap Chinatown grocery shopping. Also, look at this. Some lady just like spilled some apples all over the place. Oh no.
Free apples.
Free apples!
You think they'll sell them?
Yeah.
Probably.
It's Chinatown, anything goes. When I used to live in Chinatown, I used to live off of ramen here. It's only $1.29, but a pro tip, do not get the spicy seafood or any of the seafood ones. Go the udon noodle soup or the gourmet spicy shin noodle soup. So good.
Got it.
Oh, you got enough?
Yeah, it should last us by tomorrow, tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll restock tomorrow.
If you are a little skeeved out, which I'd understand about some of these Chinatown grocery stores, there are also a few Trader Joe's located throughout the city. Since other grocery stores in Manhattan are so expensive, there's one by my apartment called D'Agostino. It's a chain around Manhattan as well, and it's insane the price difference from that to a Trader Joe's or a grocery store out of the city. Tip number 4, apartments. So how I found just about every single one of my apartments, which is about like 5 or 6, I found them on Craigslist. And I've said this before in videos, and I always have people reaching out asking if it's always safe. And the answer is no. I've honestly never had any bad issues, but you do have to stray away from certain postings. Since most of the time, there will be real estate agents that are posting these beautiful apartments at an extremely low price, but in reality, they don't actually have that spot, and they're gonna try and bait you into seeing one of their other places. And also, you do want to stay away from broker fees and stuff like that, so try and go directly through someone who maybe has an apartment already and is just looking to have you rent a vacant room. Since broker fees can be up to 15%, which is about 1 month's rent, and you don't want to do that. The other thing, if you want to live on a budget in New York City and live in Manhattan, you're definitely gonna have to have roommates, since a 1-bedroom or studio at minimum is gonna be around $3,000 per month. So even myself, I live with 5 other roommates in a duplex apartment in Gramercy, which I personally prefer right now. I don't even want to live alone, so it's nice going home from a long day and having friends who you live with. My friend Ciampino actually had this good idea about maybe having like a Facebook group that I'll put in the link below, and maybe you guys who either live here in New York or are moving here, good way for you guys to all connect, or maybe you guys can post about rooms that are open. If that is something you're interested in, I'll leave that link down below. And last but not least, tip number 5, we're gonna go with lifestyle. So I just wanted to touch upon a few different things that fit under this topic. And one is gym membership. I use Planet Fitness. It is about $15 a month, and it's great. It's still clean, there are nice people that go there, and they have a few locations around the city. On the other hand, all of my roommates go to Equinox, but me personally, I'd rather not spend $250 a month to go to the gym when the weights at Planet Fitness weigh the same amount as the weights at Equinox. Also, Planet Fitness has free pizza once a month. The next thing I want to talk about is haircuts. Since when I first moved here and lived in Chinatown, I used to go to the spot. It's $5 and you get a haircut. The guys do not speak any English, so it's kind of like this mystery of what your hair is gonna look like and what style you get, but they usually do a good job. You can also even get free haircuts in New York City if you go to a place called salonapprentice.com. I believe you can sign up and have people who are training to become barbers practice cutting hair on you. So if you want to take that risk and also save that money on a haircut, I will leave the link to that down below, and if you give it a try, let me know how it goes. But if it came out bad, I'm terribly sorry. Now the last thing I want to touch upon is shopping, even though I do recommend you guys to click the link in the bio and go to fortuneny.com. But if you're looking for a cheap and fun experience here in the city, I do recommend going to Buffalo Exchange. I have found some of my most favorite pieces of clothing at Buffalo Exchange and also some of the most unique. I do also recommend, whether it's for clothing or for even doing activities in the city, is Groupon, since they're always posting about stores that are having sales and also coupons for you guys to go to your favorite stores and get them for a discount. And another thing, I don't think people know this, but there are actually 2 IKEAs in New York City. There is one in Manhattan, which I believe is very small, but then also one in Brooklyn, which you can buy couches and desks and chairs. Pretty much everything in the studio is from IKEA, and they offer a free boat service from downtown Manhattan to the IKEA store, and it also is a beautiful view of the city. So that's gonna be it for this video, and big thanks to Greyhound for sponsoring it and help making this possible. But until next time, remember to get out and get busy.